An honor to have all of you join me here after two fascinating sessions in the morning. Um, to introduce to you the living title of the book, in fact, Poorna, the youngest girl who climbed Mount Everest, and Aparna Thota, who in fact brought alive that book in this very, very simple to read book. And this is feeling like it is a book about Poorna, and I love the way she completes the book because she says Poorna, the complete one. And that's exactly what Poorna shows, what the journey can be of a person, who's starting from anywhere, nowhere, anywhere, whatever you may call it, and then ends up at the top of the world. And that journey is so well told by Aparna because this is not such an easy book to tell. You can tell it as a very simple story. She has not philosophized in it. She has not tried to make it into a, something in which she will put her, her comment about what this is going to mean. But she has such a very journalistic style, I must say, where she's giving us the voices and giving us the thoughts of each of those people who went into the making of a Poorna. Like Professor Vijay announced, I had actually met Poorna much before she or the government knew that she's going to be climbing Mount Everest. They were training at this Bhongir school where there's this rock climbing. I suggest to all of you go and do this because I have also done the rappelling there, and the fun of it is really good. So for the thrill of learning some bit of mountaineering, even if you don't get to Mount Everest, that's where I met Poorna at first. And at that time, it was not known that she's going to be climbing Mount Everest, but we had gone there to tell the story of how the government system, which we all tend to be very critical of very often, how it is so beautifully molding so many lives, giving them opportunities that would have otherwise not been possible at all. And in the book, in fact, Aparna mentions about how it is, if you quote Dr. Praveen Kumar, R.S. Praveen Kumar, his name many of us are familiar with, and he talks about how he says opportunity and willpower, that's what is the difference between making it big and making a name for yourself and reaching a spiritual high as well. So my documentary, luckily for me, I have been able to capture them while they were doing those classes there. And from then on, when she climbed Mount Everest and came back, we had the opportunity to welcome her and do this documentary about Poorna, a girl from a small village, Pakala, in Nizamabad, and where at that time, I don't know if the primary health center is still, the primary health center was some 40 kilometers away. So you can imagine how remote that place was. But what is also interesting is Aparna gives a timeline in this entire thing. And, even to conceive and give birth to a baby, we need 9 months to have the minimum, let's say. But this happened within 9 months. The fact that she did not know probably the aim of mountaineering and went on to climb the Mount Everest opens up the possibility of what is possible when you give opportunity and when you give a dream to a girl and the chance to execute it. And of course, she showed the perseverance and the willpower that took her there. So, Everest and I'm not promoting my documentary, but just something that will give you a visual feel of what exactly was happening at that time. That will go very much with this book to be able to get that feel of what happened. Everest and Haya is something that we have done as part of an India Matters series on NDTV. So, welcome Aparna and Poorna. Poorna was 13 months and 11 months old, 13 years and 11 months old when she climbed Mount Everest. Okay. I first want to get an update from her on what she's doing later because my book also says, title of my documentary says Everest and Higher or More Everest to Conquer. What is Poorna doing right now? She's a pro. First of all, good morning everyone. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to share my experience and interacting with you. Currently, so far I have climbed all 7 continents, 7 highest mountains and few other Indian mountains also. And so nothing is left to conquer now in the world. She's done all the 7 continents, mountains. So my recent climb was unclimbed and unnamed peak, which is located in Ladakh. That I have climbed in Ladakh in August month. So now I've completed MA Political Science from Osmania University. And now I am planning to make this passion as a profession. So I'm working towards that. He's converting our passion into profession, and in the process also hopes to create several other Poornas like herself, because women in mountaineering is not that many. There's also a question that Aparna in fact raises in his question as a introspective question when somebody asks Poorna, what do you achieve by climbing a mountain? What do you achieve by climbing a mountain is the question. How did this, I should talk about Aparna also, somebody who is a postgraduate in social work, is a writer and a poet, and she speaks about urban lifestyle, struggles of marginalized people, and the nuances of everyday life that find expression in her work. So what I liked about your book was you brought us the dilemmas of everyone in the book, whether it's the parents of Poorna, who probably did not fully comprehend. They were told, yes, there is a risk in sending your child there. There is this dead zone where deaths happen, and Poorna will tell you about the corpses that she encounters. In fact, just as she was getting to the summit, and that can be very, very unnerving. Imagine a girl not even 14 years old, and she accidentally discovers that there are dead bodies on the way when she's getting there. The dilemma of Mr. Praveen Kumar. I mean, this is something that all of us encounter, don't we? When we say excellence means you need to go beyond yourself, and you put people to the limit when you go for achieving the highest. I mean, whether it's Sanya, Saina, Sindhu, Poorna, all of them have done that. But there's a dilemma. When something goes wrong, everyone will blame you, saying, how can you push? You are not supposed to push, and she's a minor as well. Tell us about that experience of trying to catch everyone's nuances, the nuances of their thinking at each stage, the dilemmas, because that's the question that everyone's going to ask. How can you push a 14-year-old child to climb Mount Everest?
That was a question that I had. So that's how I've, in all of my interviews, I have posed this question to every person that I've interacted with. Poorna was very young at that age. I think she was only 13, not even 13 years and 11 months.
Minus 11 months, that is. So,
minus 11 months.
13 years and 2 or 3.
So, when I started interviewing people and I started getting into their thought process, so the interview happened in a very, what do you say? I mean, I've allowed them to talk, and this kind of, I have flown along with their thought process, and this dilemma, the guilt of pushing the girl, this also they had to overcome before training her. So the way they have convinced themselves whether this is a right approach, right thing to do. And the best part is Poorna was the most stable person here. Poorna did not have any dilemma. Poorna's only dilemma is like when somebody asks, what do you do climbing Mount Everest? That's it. And she got her answer in the beginning itself. She told me when I have asked her this question, she said, I got an opportunity. I don't want to lose it. There are lots of people who are waiting for something like this among all the students over there in social welfare, and only I received this opportunity. I didn't want it to go away.
Okay. And this story is not just a story of Poorna, because after she did what she did, in every hostel you'll go, and I have seen Dr. Praveen Kumar ask this question, do you all want to climb the Everest? And there would be this resounding answer saying, yes, we want to do that. And even if everyone did not get there, it sparked off that kind of a dream and an ambition. It's fire that went into that answer. And all of them were speaking because they saw someone among them do that. Is that something as a process? For you, Aparna in the book describes this as when you reach Everest, highest level of spiritual achievement, highest level of pushing yourself. Was it about yourself, or was it also about so many other people that you represented? You said you got the chance and you didn't want to miss it. I also want to ask you the question, because this dilemma is there. We are all adults, and when you're 18, you're allowed to make your own decisions. Parents, I don't know whether they're allowed to make decisions for their children, or even teachers, are they allowed to make decisions? So, who should it be left to? In your case, do you believe, when all goes well, we say, great, you can all celebrate it. But something goes wrong, then the blame game starts. What was it for you personally as a child?
So, as Aparna ma'am told, I got an opportunity and I don't want to lose that. That's the first reason. And another reason is, when I got the opportunity, there was no plan of Everest. There was only plan of rock climbing, which was in Bongir Fort, which was at Bongir Fort. And that was only
like the summer camp activity.
Yeah. So that was only for 5 days, and still before I get there, I know and I've seen only small stones and rocks at home and in school. I know the places, only 2 places, only home and only my village and a school where I was studying where I was doing my schooling. So then the very first thing I've seen a huge rock which was like 650 feet, and I got I was in a there were so many questions were running in my mind, like how to climb this big rock, and how I was just 13 and I was thinking how it is possible to climb this. So there were so many questions were running, but after 5 days of course, after 5 days, how much I become very confident that I can do anything. So then after that we went to basic advanced course. Then after my basic advanced course, that was happened in Darjeeling in 2013 only. So after basic advanced course, I get back to my home. Then I realized that this is the moment actually which was more motivated me towards to climb Mount Everest. So after basic advanced course, I got back home, and then I realized that the opportunities are many and the world is huge, and there are many opportunities outside in the world, out of our comfort zones actually. So that's what I realized, and I've seen many of my friends, they are getting married at 13, 14, 15 years. There are many reasons for that marriages and everything, but they didn't know that there is a many opportunities. And honestly, one of my friends got married, now she has 2 kids and they are going to school. So that's what's happening in our villages, and that's what I've seen. And there I decided to prove that girls can do anything. And then I thought that time there was no plan of Everest, but I've seen the videos, and my coach, Mr. Shekhar Babu sir, he climbed Everest in 2007 in his Arjuna Awadi. So they have introduced about Everest and everything, I've seen photos, videos and everything. Then there I decided to prove that girls can do anything. So that was
after you did that, you spoke about many of your friends who did not even get a chance to dream because you didn't know what else you should do, when you're 13, 14. Very often the primary education is over, the compulsory 14 years education is over, then you have to go to college, and then people drop out. You have seen that there's a gap there. You've gone and addressed many schools. I know that everyone comes and clicks a selfie with you. But beyond that, have you seen that spark that people, because this is also a story not just about Poorna. In the book, in fact, Mr. Praveen Kumar mentions about how, and that's something that fascinated me endlessly. All of us talk about the NEET exams and the JEE exams, and I don't know how many of you know that from the school that the Telangana government runs, the social welfare school as we call them. In this book, it mentions one statistic. So 150 students choose their way to prestigious medical colleges, and 530 students qualified JEE mains to join prestigious colleges with technology in this country. What had happened was there is a very powerful chain reaction. So the fact that one regular girl from a small village, if she can climb the Everest, You can go to these institutes of technology everywhere, and that's the kind of a dream that is sparked. And that's what you have told in your story, isn't it? It's not just about a Poorna.
It has a snowball effect. Even the budget of the schools has increased. It doubled. The number of schools have doubled. And today we see that there is a lot of competition to get into those schools also. The waiting list. It's not like, that was your last choice before. Joining self-teaching schools. But now it is not so. It's only because the quality of education in these schools. Not just when we talk about education again, I wanted to say that it is not just about reading or getting marks. Poorna and Praveen Kumar together have inspired a lot of people that education is about elevating self, getting out of comfort zone.
Yeah, very often what we do realize is when we say education, it's all geared towards a livelihood that इनको कोई ऐसे do some kind of courses that will put them into jobs immediately. But the ability to think big and say that they must get the same kind of opportunities to be able to conquer worlds that they would have not known at all. I think that is something that Telangana Social Welfare Hostels under Dr. Praveen Kumar did manage to do that, and I think that's the salute. And the role of mentors. Very often, I think, people in civil society, they do have this feeling. I know all these are very enlightened people. They don't realize that they can play mentor to so many other people. So I want you to talk about, I know you speak about Swapna ma'am, you speak about Parmeshwar, you speak about Shekhar Babu. Swapna ma'am was somebody who's a teacher, a physical education teacher in the school that she went to in Padwai. But the role of such teachers and mentors, all of us have one teacher back in childhood who inspired us. I mean, I took biology because my teacher was so brilliant and so you wanted to get good marks because the teacher was so good. So that kind of a role of mentors I want you to talk about that Aparna also mentions in her book.
So, the big role and big backbone, big support from my parents actually. Because without their support, I could not reach to this stage. And obviously, there are many people have supported me throughout my journey. So there are many actually, but the main people obviously Praveen sir and Shekhar sir and my parents, Swapna madam, Parmeshwar sir, the people who are in a frame always, and they push me to reach all this, to achieve these all achievements, reach these all mountains. The role of the mentors is very important, isn't it, in this kind of a journey?
It is about the mapping. It's about mapping. When I have asked Swapna on why she chose Poorna, there is one another person who should have, even she was excellent in her field. Sarita also, Soumya Saini. So, Poorna and Soumya were in the list, but she chose Poorna only for one reason. Whenever they were playing volleyball, Poorna is a pro at volleyball. So whenever the ball used to fall on any of the trees in the campus, Poorna somehow managed to climb in his parapet walls or the covering on the windows. I forgot the name. Sunshade, yeah. So she climbed on them, and then she climbed on these branches and she got in. So she knows that for rock climbing, the climbing aspect of climbing is very important, and she's very agile. That's the only reason why she chose Poorna over the other person. There's an imagery in the book where she speaks about how she was always found somewhere there in between the trees and using the sunshade to get the ball down. And that, of course, obviously reflects a lot more than just her ability to climb. The fact that she's willing to do the problem solving for a group of people and to be able to put herself out first there and to be quick in thinking and to be able to balance many of those faculties for a larger good. That is also something. One other thing that struck me about Aparna's book was, in stories like this, to shy away from what did they eat, how did they pass motions. You keep wondering if people are going to the mountains. And then she speaks even about the menstrual period. She was an adolescent girl who must have just started menstruating at around that time. I'm glad that you made a mention about those. that was a conscious decision to talk about this issue?
That was conscious because Poorna is a girl. Again, she's in her teens, early teens. So, and the team around her were all men. So how did she manage? She actually did not even bother much about it. She doesn't make a big deal about it. I think she missed her periods because of a lot of physical exertion. There is no answer. It's the best part of it. She actually, in continuation to my earlier response, so after Swapna, Parmesh and all other people have spotted her, and finally she got into the final round, and she's one of those selected few. Like 5 of them were shortlisted. Out of these 5, only Poorna is the only girl. So Poorna is taken. Like, they wanted to send one girl and one boy, so Poorna is already there. So what all Poorna did? So they say she just had to climb, and she just had to practice. In the sense, she just had to work out as much as possible, which she did. So I brought in it's not just periods. It's also about urination. It's also about defecation that we usually shy away. Kind of jokes that we crack. Usually men are comfortable about talking these things, but women are never comfortable. We don't mention because we always want to be beautiful. We want to be presentable. We want to be elegant. So but here, elegance, lies in her character. So when I have asked this question, the way she dealt with the answer also, I loved it because she did not make a big deal. She told me that we sweat a lot, so we never had to pee. I mean, we don't have to pee much. Then secondly, yeah, we used to go, that's it, nothing else.
The other aspect of it was the diet itself. I mean, there is something we think, oh my God, if she's a mountaineer, she must be eating something else that we don't eat. So she looks like one frail thing here. But even the meal that she had, the last cooked meal, I mean, food was a problem because she couldn't eat. And that's one of the things that she was criticized for, and she threatened that she would drop because she doesn't eat. It shows in her frame, I guess. But even there, the detail that Aparna mentions about, I think, lemon rice or something else like that. It's rice that they had the last cooked meal before they move on to the mountain, where you think, oh my God, what must they be eating, because they need to sustain themselves through that period of time.
So generally we don't take anything like tablets or anything. We don't take medicine at all on the mountains except
power enhancing kind of drugs, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Just normal food which we will have at home. That's our food in mountain also. So mostly we take dry fruits and everything, that kind of thing. And normal diet. I made a special mention of this in my book only because whenever we speak to any people who are into physical fitness, they talk of special diets, etc. But when it came to Poorna and Anand, it was regular. They had to consume non-veg, yes. The Poorna is quite easy when it comes to eating. But I had to mention because in the beginning itself, Dr. HLF'23 spoke of, tapping that raw energy in them. That's what I wanted to, say.
The other aspect I would like to read out that bit, because for Dr. HLF'23, he is actually taking a big responsibility on himself, putting his own career also at stake. They're going to push Poorna, showing her the glory of what it would be post climbing. So there will be this, all this media that will cover you, and you'll become a star overnight. And I saw some, one of the mentors in fact says, do not think of the glory later. While for Mr. Praveen Kumar, he speaks about what if the children don't make it back, what if something happens to them. So will the idea of players actually survive? And it's very interesting what happens within this institute. If any of you had an opportunity to visit them, they're fascinating institutions. They talk about 10 commandments, and it perhaps applies to everyone having a goal and working through it. I want you to talk about the 10 commandments. I remember she was reading out the 10 commandments, and God need not be in any form. The other, when she had a problem, she would always say Jai Hanuman. Even when she was climbing the tree, she was saying Jai Hanuman. And she went to the Everest and she decided that she needed that energy. That energy can come for us from anywhere, whatever inspires us. For her, it was Jai Hanuman that she said. Tell us about those 10 commandments and what they meant to you, because sometimes framing things in a format helps you have your goals clear, because otherwise sometimes you're confused about right or wrong, what is the stand that we must take, should we speak out or not speak out.
So the 10 commandments are, I took them as a very important thing, like in my life during the, especially during Mount Everest expedition, because I love them, and whenever I read them, like prayer every day morning, even in the school and even in wherever I am, I used to remember them because to motivate myself to not down wherever I go, whatever I was doing. Like they help me a lot. The first one is I am not inferior to anyone. I shall be the leader wherever I am. There are like 10 commandments, and the last one is I shall never give up. So these, those 10 commandments boost me a lot whenever I feel down during the expedition, and also like that.
Okay. I was reading through this book, and it is easy, simple to read, and probably something that all parents, children, and also policymakers like Dr. Praveen Kumar says, they should also read to say that what is the possibilities, and you need to think beyond what our imagination allows us to. I mean, you say this is reasonable, चलो trekking कर लिया, यहाँ mountain climb कर लिया, Everest करने की क्या जरूरत है? Who are you trying to prove something to? There is no reason for us to try and prove. But you, I don't know whether that's publisher or you, even before she climbed, the photograph came in where I knew what the climax of the story was going to be, but I wanted the photograph at the end to celebrate that thing, whereas the celebration happens later. The other thing is she does explain, a lot of the tools that she uses, and initially when I was browsing the book, I thought, why is she telling me so much technicals? And after I read the story, I wanted to know each of these, what does it do? What does each of these things do? How did you plan the book itself? I mean, was it meant, obviously this is something that needed to be recorded for posterity, for people to know the possibility of, what can be achieved in such a small period of time. And it also says that don't limit yourself. What was your idea? What was your brief?
When I started looking for this book, I never had a format as such. I didn't even know the tone that I had to tell it.
So you were given the freedom to do what you wanted to do.
I was given the freedom to do what I wanted. Even the language was chosen by me. That's Ravindra said he's sitting over here. So he's the one who selected me to write this book from present publication. So I was given a freedom. I was also told that I can choose either English or Telugu to write. So I was actually writing in Telugu until then. So I suddenly jumped to English because most of the responses were in English, especially Praveen Kumar and Aparna and Thota Babu. So that's why I chose that language. And another reason why I chose English is for it to reach larger audience. I know that this is going to get translated, but still it is going to take time for that to happen. And another thing is I chose a very simple language deliberately for the traders to read. So all the students from government...
for people who may not know, it's a social welfare. Arrows is something that can fly in the air, zoom fast, slip past very fast. So that's the kind of an image. That terminology is also very interesting and important because Dr. Praveen Kumar thought Dalit is a word that is carrying a lot of sense of victimization, and he did not want that to be carried by the children when they say, I belong to Dalit class. So he invented this word, Pharaohs, which is meant for all those children to be calling themselves as Pharaohs, as social welfare heroes from there. Yes.
So that was another reason. I wanted all the students in India, especially in India, from the marginalized communities to read this book. So I made it very simple. I wrote it in English and I have documented it. So whoever wants to do this, they can have a basic idea on how to do mountaineering. So this has come from three different directions to record the story of Poorna, different how she started and how she submitted. Then story of Praveen Kumar, how he conceived this thought and how it grew and then ultimately how it made an impact. It's just not an impact, it's like, it had a snowball revolution actually. Yes. And the third thing is children, for them to understand that it's a really, for it to stand as an inspiration and also as a basic book on mountaineering. Instead of going as a technical book, I just thought if I can, include these things also as a part of the book, this also can make it easy.
Okay, all of you may be familiar that Rahul Bose also made a film on Poorna and her journey, and that is something that is well received. I'll now throw it open for people if you want to have conversation with Poorna and Aparna.
I thought there will be a lot of children who would be asking questions, but nonetheless, hi Poorna, I hope you remember me. I happened to organize a design festival way back in 2014 and Poorna was there. And I happened to ask this very typical question to her saying, what were you thinking once you reached the top? And I was really surprised with the answer. I don't know whether Poorna remembers that answer. She said, I just wanted to go back home. So I think that was really impresses me a lot that, what simple person she is. At the same time, she had that determination and the conviction that she could achieve great things in life. So once again, congratulations, Poorna, for that. And I just thought I should share this with the audience here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that so much reflects Poorna, the fact that she's a simple girl and operates just on basis. In fact, even in the book it's mentioned that she's only thinking of the next step. I have to go the next step, and I'm not thinking beyond that about, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. There's a part where Anand is quoted as saying, to inspire Poorna, I think, when she's feeling down, to say that ఈ చేసేస్తే మనం వచ్చిన తర్వాత హీరోలు అయిపోతాం, అందరూ వస్తారు, మీడియా వస్తారు మన ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేయడానికి అని. బట్ that's not the thought with which she went there. She just thought the next step is what I will take forward and keep my energy for and keep the focus there. And whatever happened later happened by itself, and that's what I think is all children need to remember, that we do what we do and the outcomes will come by themselves. We don't need to really think about the outcome and then start working there. Any more questions you would like to? Poorna, I would like to ask you one last question. You said that you're now going to base a career out of mountaineering. I also want you to talk about the opportunity that many people perhaps don't get at all. And it's, even that opportunity to dream, that it's like is that something that you still find? We all think that there are forces everywhere, government is talking about everything that's happening. Has it really reached? You still live in Pakala, and has it really reached? You are only 22 still. And you must be interacting with lots of youngsters who will be coming to you with stars in their eyes saying, oh my God, she climbed Everest. So, when anybody want to get into the mountaineering thing, they are happy to, I'm very happy to invite them first of all, because mountaineering community is very small, and there are not many people are there in this field. Especially from Telangana, there are only 2 women who climbed Mount Everest till now. So, last year one girl climbed. Again from the social welfare hostel?
No, not from social welfare hostel. So, basically, if anybody want to climb any trekking, small mountains or any high altitude mountains, you can come to Bongir. There is a rock climbing school, and there are many, institutes out of our state.
I'll ask you that question if someone asks you. Mountain climbers ఏం దొరుకుతుందో అసలు? Why should we climb mountains? I mean, why should children think they must climb mountains?
See, I'll tell what I have learned. So, from this last 8 years, I am in this field. So, mountains have taught me a lot. Especially, I'll talk about like, first thing is self-confidence. If you have self-confidence, everything will come to you. I mean, you will start focusing on what you want to do, and the courage will automatically come. And I have learned patience, discipline, and teamwork, and hard work. If you have a dream, we need to work very, very hard, and then we need to plan properly. So these all I have learned from my mountaineering journey, and that's what I suggest all the youth, my friends, and everybody. So that's what mountains teach us.
Thank you so much. If any more questions are there, we'll take it. And then, yes, please. Yes, I was hoping, like Srinivas was mentioning, I was hoping that children would have questions to ask. There is one.
Hi, Poorna. So, really happy to see you in person. I watched your movie and it was really motivating and inspirational. So, one question which I just want to ask was, you achieved so much at a very such young age. So, after that, how are you motivating yourself, or are you targeting something, or because there's still a long journey in your life, so just wanted to understand how you want to carry on.
So the first thing is, I don't have one goal. I have many goals. As Madam said, I have a step-by-step plan. I don't think like I wanted to become a businessman, and I don't have a big final goal. I have a step-by-step, as they said. So first I decided to climb Everest, and then I got to know about all 7 summits, and I took 1-2 years gap because the education is also equally important. So I was in SSC 10th grade, and I took a break for 1 year, and then I went to Kilimanjaro in 17, and in 18 I went to Mount Everest in Russia. Then in 19, at the same time I continued my education. Like I finished my plus 2 and undergraduation. I went a 1 year US undergrad exchange program to Minnesota State University, and then now I finished MA Political Science in, from Usmania University. Continuing the mountaineering journey, I completed all 7 summits. So like that, I planned my life. So now I wanted to take it as a profession, this passion as a profession. That's what my plan. And I want to invite many more, especially many more young girls, especially women, into this adventure sports. Because adventure sports will teach a lot. And at least, at least once in a life, they should experience, this adventure life. That's what I request.
How did you adjust the temperature of the area? Acclimatization. Disclose with it. So before Mount Everest, we had a training of winter expeditions, and actually before we go to the high altitude mountains climbing, we used to train for a special training or focused training will start. Like we used to jog 20 to 25 kilometers each single day. And meditation, yoga will help us a lot to breathe properly. And breathing issues will not come. And high temperature is we need to always keep our body warm. You should do something activity all the time. Like if you sleep, you'll be in a sleeping bag. That's fine. But then in the daytime, you'll walk and sweat
sweat will come during the trekking. But whenever you sitting outside, you should always do like a finger movement and toe movement. Then a body will be get warm. So that's one tip. There are many other tips.
Actually, the answer was there in my previous answers as well. She takes one thing at a time. Even temperature variations, you will kill yourself if you decide that you'll one day climb the Mount Everest at one go. They have to take it slowly. They wait at each level and acclimatize their bodies. And that perhaps is a lesson for life as well, for children who are trying to do that, 3 months of thing for a JEE or a medical or something else, and they really go through such rigorous thing. What it does mean is that be stable at every stage, maximize whatever you can, and then you will reach your goal very automatically without the kind of shock that we are getting with the kind of traumatic stories that we are hearing about youngsters. So, a big thank you to Aparna for writing this story, and big thank you to Poorna for showing us what is possible, and a pleasure, HLF, for inviting me to be part of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank